He will remain Ajivan Brahmachari. Neither he is going to become except the seat of Hastinapur. He will not become the king, neither he will become a grihastha to allow his son to become the king. Then what happened? The Chitrangad and Vichitravirya, actually Chitrangad, he was supposed to get married. Then Bhishmadev helped him to get married to these three daughters of Kashiraj, Amba, Ambika and Ambalika. So, Amba we know, she declined because she said, Vishwadev, if you accept me, then only I will. Vishma said, no, I am Brahmachari, I have taken a vow, I am not going to marry you. Then Ambika and Ambalika, they got married to Chitrangad. And we can see this Amba, he went and reported to his Guru Maharaj. He said, because of your disciple only, I am not going to get married. Parsuram said, what? What happened? He said, no, your disciple, he touched me. And when I told him that you have touched me, I am not going to marry anybody else except you. But he rejected me. What kind of disciple he is? You should do something about it. All right, I will go and tell my disciple why he is doing this. Disciple should not behave abruptly. So Parsuram, he came to meet with Bhishma. He said, my dear child, my dear disciple, so what's the matter? He said, why don't you marry Amba? He said, no, I am not going to marry Amba. He said, why? You touched her? You touched her and you dared to say no to marry her? What is this? He said, no, I have taken vow, I am not going to marry her. I want to remain Brahmachari. I am your Guru, I am ordering you. He said, so what? I have taken decision. He said, you want to remain by your decision or you want to follow my decision? He said, no, I am going to remain by my decision. Okay, you have to fight with me. Guru is challenging his disciple. Guru Maharaj said, Parsuram said, now you have to fight a battle with me. If you are defeated, then you have to accept Amba. If I am defeated, then I will accept whatever your decision is. Bhishmadev said, all right. Now you can imagine, Parsuram is Guru, from whom Bhishmadev has learned this military science. Now both of them started fighting. It's a big fight between Bhishma and Parsuram. The battle was so furious. Neither Bhishmadev nor Parsuram is getting defeated. They fought the battle for many, many days. Then I think Narad Muni came, right? Narad Muni said, what are you doing? Just stop it. Don't just fight like this. So then the fighting was resolved. But anyway, nobody was defeated, so everything remained the same. Bhishmadev continued, and you can see this time when Bhishmadev is lying on the bed of arrows, Parsuram also came. And it is very interesting, you can see, Sa Shishya. All the rishis, Parvata, Dhamya, Vyasadeva, Brihadvasa, Bharadwaj, and after that Vasishta, Indrapramad, Trita, Vritsamada, Kakshivan, Gautam, Sudarshan, all the great rishis, they came along with their disciples. They didn't come alone. That means when you find somebody very highly elevated soul is speaking, you should also bring your disciple to listen. Don't go alone. Anandulal Prabhu, so next time you're going to bring your disciple. Whenever you go to listen to your Guru, or not? Huh? Not saying anything.
By your Methi.
What are you learning? You are learning this, that you have to go to listen to your Guru along with your disciple. They all came with their disciples. Huh? There are so many. Maybe you should read one or two of these great rishis, about these great rishis. Who you want to know about?
Sudarshan.
Sudarshan. Okay, read Sudarshan. Read.
Last.
Read loudly.
434.
For everybody.
This will, which is accepted by the personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, as his personal weapon, is the most powerful weapon, greater than the Brahmastras or similar other disastrous weapons. In some of the Vedic literatures, it is said that Agnidev, the fire god, presented this weapon to Lord Shri Krishna, but actually this weapon is eternally carried by the Lord. Agnidev presented this weapon to Krishna in the same way that Rukmini was given by Maharaj Rukma to the Lord. The Lord accepts such presentations from his devotees, even though such presentations are eternally his property. There is an elaborate description of this weapon in the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata. Lord Shri Krishna used this weapon to kill Shishupala, a rival of the Lord. He also killed Shalva by this weapon, and sometimes he wanted his friend Arjuna to use it to kill his enemies.
Sudarshan is also a personality. Prabhupada is commenting that Sudarshan being the weapon of Lord Krishna. Any other rishi?
These all rishis, like some details are there in Mahabharata, because some rishis are very less written, like Kaushik, if you see, and
Yeah,
Yudsama, Indramaj,
yeah.
like that. Very less written.
So if you want to know, you read Mahabharata. Okay. So then, Anye cha munayo brahman brahmarata mala शिष्यैरुपेता जग्मु कश्यपाङ्गिरसादयः. Read.
And many others like Shukadev Goswami and other purified souls, Kashyapa and Angiras and others, all accompanied by their respective disciples, are right there.
So all these great rishis, along with their disciples, they came to listen to Bhishmadev. Including Sukadeva Goswami, he also came. Angirasa, he is the son of Maharshi Angira and is known as Brihaspati, the priest of the demigods. It is said that Dronacharya was his partial incarnation. Shukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons, and Brihaspati challenged him. His son is Kacha, and he delivered the fire weapon first to Bharadwaj Muni. He begot 6 sons like the fire god by his wife Chandramasi, one of the reputed stars. He could travel in space, and therefore he could present himself even in the planets of Brahmaloka and Indraloka. He advised the king of heaven, Indra, about conquering the demons. Once he cursed Indra and thus had to become a hog on the earth and was unwilling to return to heaven. Such is the power of the attraction of the illusory energy. Even a hog does not wish to part with its earthly possessions in exchange for a heavenly kingdom. He was the religious preceptor of the natives of different planets. Just imagine, he was the preceptor of the native of the different planets. he came to listen to Bhishma there. This is the power of a pure devotee of the Lord. Tan sametan mahabhagan upalabhya vasuttama pujayamasa dharmagya desakala vibhagavid. Read the translation.
Vishnudev, who was the best among the 8 Vasus, received and welcomed all the great and powerful rishis who were assembled there, for he knew perfectly all the religious principles according to time and place.
So this is very important point. Desakala vibhagavid. Pujayamasa dharmagya. Maharaj, our Bhishma Dev, he is dharmagya. He knows religious principles very clearly. Therefore, desakala vibhagavid and pujayamasa. He greeted everybody, means he offered his welcome to everybody. You can say, well, somebody who is lying on the bed of arrows, what kind of welcome he could give at that time? Prabhupada explains that he could utter sweet words with hearty expressions. It was not possible for Bhishma Dev even to hold his hand in honor to say Hare Krishna. He could not do that. In his condition, just by looking at them and just saying this much, Pranam, that is enough. So he knew Desakala Vibhagavid. Sometimes we become miserly to have exchange of the hearty and sweet words with hearty expression. So that is not correct. So we need to learn from Bhishma Dev the way the condition he was in. For him to even move his body was very difficult. What to speak of offering a seat or giving a glass of water or in any other way. But for him, just uttering sweet words with hearty expressions was enough to welcome them. As it befits, so he welcomed all these devotees like Pandavas, Krishna, and all the great sages who assembled there. Prabhupada says, expert religionists know perfectly well how to adjust religious principles in terms of time and place. So what do you understand this?
Time, place, circumstance.
Andulal Prabhu?
Religious.
Expert religionists know perfectly well how to adjust religious
What
principles.
time you should be used. There is time, place, situations. They explain about the situation, time, then circumstance.
So I have heard you are the Acharya of Rath Yatra in Malaysia. Wherever there is Rath Yatra going on, you are called to go and do the Pujari service there. So you are an expert religionist. So what are you going to do? You are going to just adjust. Sometimes devotees ask you, Prabhu, this is what to do, how to do. So you are going to adjust some situations. How are you going to do that? You should know everything.
Time.
So how are you going to deal with it?
See the situations.
When there are some contradictory things coming up and devotee is going to ask you, so how are you going to resolve this? How are you going to give the solution to them?
King Amin. What is it? Say again.
I am saying if sometimes devotees come to you with some contradictions, because you are a great Pujari of Jagannath, everywhere you are going and doing the Satra festival, so they feel that you can resolve their contradictions. So how are you going to resolve their contradiction if they ask you anything?
Contradiction. Give some person.
Give some prasad.
Yeah.
No, see, Desa Kala Vibhagavid,
Yes,
the religious principles in terms of time and place. So if they are not able to follow some religious principles,
So,
okay, and they come and ask you, so you're going to compromise, you have to give them some advice, how are you going to deal with them?
deal with the strict direction of Lord Jagannath. Give any prasadam, anything from garland, flower, give them to get messy.
Okay, good, thank you. At least you are not concocting anything to give them your own advice. You can just give Jagannath Prasad and Jagannath garland and tell them to see Jagannath, okay? Any other devotee, if somebody comes to you, how are you going to deal with them? Desakala Vibhagavi.
I will ask my senior because I don't know, I am very junior. Or if I have to use my intelligence, if my senior is not available, then the first thing would be, will it be good for ISKCON? Because otherwise everything is like ISKCON is like this. So they should not point out on ISKCON or my guru or the parampara, they should not come to that. And the principle of always remembering Krishna, if it helps them to remember Krishna, then it is best. Then we can compromise a little, but I will go gradually, slow, step by step, not totally do my own.
Like that means when newcomer, we give something, then advise them to come join in a participate in Sunday feast program at our place, certain place, they can come.
No, what happens is sometimes, even while doing this religious practice, devotees are kind of, confused. They don't know what to do, what not to do. And then they come for advice. How are you going to advise them? Many times we end up compromising the principles. No, you cannot compromise the principles. This is a very important point. We are not acharyas. Acharyas have already given. Better you read Shastra, understand it, and if it is beyond your capacity, then go and take shelter of an experienced devotee. Ask from them what they have to say. Then accordingly you deal with the situation. Krishnam cha tat prabhavagya asinam jagadishwaram yudhishtham pujayamasa maya yopatta vigraham. Read translation.
Lord
Go.
Lord Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishmadev, and since Bhishmadev knew of his glories, he worshipped him duly.
How he worshipped? Hridistham pujayamasa. Krishna is in everyone's heart. He was also in Bhishmadev's heart. So at the same time, he is sitting before him. So by closing his eyes and offering his obeisances and in mind speaking to Krishna is like worship to him. So he individually offered due respect in that way. He didn't leave anyone. Then Panduputranupasinan Prasaya Prema Sangatan Abhyachastaruragasri Tanhi Bhutena Chakshusha. Read the translation.
The son of Maharaj Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Bhishmadev congratulated them with feelings. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes. He was overwhelmed by love and affection.
Can you imagine? These Pandavas, they were small children. And Bhishmadev was like their grandfather. Bhishmadev lived for 400 years. He is really grandfather. So these children, and just imagine, they were small kids before Bhishmadev. And Bhishmadev would take Arjuna on his lap. And this boy, he was fighting with Bhishma. And he has seen how these children, they were so pious and they were suffering. Now they have come to him when he is about to leave his body, and he knows that they have come to listen to him. What kind of affection Bhishmadev would have for them. So that's what, prema sangatam. And because of their great affection, and Bhishmadev, andhibhutena chakshusha, tears was filled with his eyes, and he could not speak anything for some time actually. Then afterwards he controlled himself, then he started speaking. Oho kastam aho nyayam jajjuyam dharmanandana jivitum narhata krishtam vipra dharmachyutasraya. Bhishmadev said, oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustice you good souls suffered for being the son of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. Yet you are protected by the Brahmanas, God and religion. Bhishmadev is actually remembering the terrible sufferings Pandavas had to go through. He has seen, starting with giving poison laddu to Bhima, and how they were attempting to be burnt in Lakshagriha, how they are sent in exile, and what are the different conspiracies were made. So he knows everything. That's what he is saying, that Oho kastam ahanyayam jajjuyam dharmanandana. You all suffer so long, but you are all sons of Dharma personified. So you did not deserve to remain alive under these terrible conditions. But because you took shelter of Vipra, Dharma and Achyuta, therefore you are still there. That means in one way he is saying that Maharaj Yudhishthira, whatever has happened, happened. Please, from now on, don't feel sorry. Krishna is there by your side. Whatever Krishna is saying, just follow his advice. Don't think that by fighting in the world, you have committed a big mistake. Or you are suffering because of the sins committed by killing the soldiers in the battle. No, this is not what you should be thinking. You are the son of religion personified. Krishna wants you to become the king of Hastinapur. Better you become the king, listen to him, just take care of your subject. You are already under the shelter of Vipra, Dharma and Achyuta. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Can you read purport, Maharaj Yudhishthira?
Maharaj Yudhishthira was disturbed due to the great massacre in the battle of Kurukshetra. Bhishmadev could understand this, and therefore he spoke first of the terrible suffering of Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was put into difficulty by injustice only, and the battle of Kurukshetra was fought just to counteract this injustice. Therefore he could not regret the great massacre. He wanted to point out particularly that they were always protected by the Brahmanas, the Lord and religious principles. As long as they were protected by these three important items, there was no cause of disappointment. Thus, Bhishmadev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthira to dissipate his despondency. As long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, one has no cause for despondency. However, trying the circumstances of life, Bhishmadev, as one of the authorities in the line, wanted to impress this point upon the Pandavas.
That means, what did you learn from this purport? Yes, Mataji.
We have to first follow Sadhu Guru Shastra. Like
Mm.
here they followed, and once you are following them, then you know you don't have to worry because they are the final authorities for us.
So, whatever the circumstances of life may be, you don't have to worry about. As long as you are following your dharma, you are under the shelter of Brahmana Vaishnavas and Supreme Lord, then you are safe. But problem is, many times we apply our own intelligence. We feel we are smarter than the Supreme Lord. That's the problem. Yes.
I'm just, because of, as you said, the years of Bhishmadev, so my mind was like, some, maybe like, can you say, negative you was thinking. Because as we heard, this year Kali Yuga is like 100 years, the upper Yuga is like 1,000 years people were living, and 400 years is for Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev is like father, you can say, of the Dhritarashtra and others. And as we see in the Bhagavatam, that Dhritarashtra went actually. Vidura told him that we will take one vas now. So what was in that age? Taking one prasthashram was like little early.
Dhanprasthara ashram was?
Little early, because if we see the lifespan like 1,000 years, then 400 years only Bhishmadev. So kind of just.
So what you are saying?
1,000 years.
No, what is your question?
Question is like one prasthashram will be categorized, like it comes like 750 years. Our 75 years, so they are 750 years.
Okay, whatever it may be. I don't know.
Little early one prasthashram.
I don't know when is Dhanprastha for them.
Another question regarding that. He only lived 400 years. But supposed to live 1,000 years in Gopara. 400 is nothing.
So what? So what is your problem?
The 400 is people will live until
How
1,000
many people are living for 100 years even nowadays?
I asked him in this. No.
Age does not
Very
matter.
seldom.
You see what he has done and who he is in person. He is a personality. That you see.
He's a young person according to the sages in the assembly. They are from the past yugas and past kalpa. So he's very young.
He is young, but he is young. But he is very advanced in spiritual understanding. That's why all these people, they came to listen to him. That's why in spiritual life, the seniority is concerned according to one's spiritual realization.
Spiritual realization.
That is one type of seniority calculated in Krishna consciousness. Somebody may be junior by age, but if he is very advanced in spiritual understanding, then he is senior.
Like Sukadeva Goswami.
He should be listened to. Sukadeva Goswami, another example. Okay. Can you give me water?
Yeah. Prabhu.
It's okay.
Oh,
acha, this one. Sorry, I didn't see it. Now, after speaking to Pandavas, he is going to address Kunti Maharani. Samsthite tirathe pando pritha bala prajavadhu jusmat krite mohun klesha